Hello, my dear DevOps friends. Welcome to my office hour. I'm Jochen, the Monospace Mentor, and in my office hour, I answer your questions. The programming is completely up to you. I haven't prepared anything. That's the nice thing about these office hours for me. I just can lean back and wait for what's coming. And it's up to you what does actually come. If you have any questions about DevOps, system administration, software engineering, your IT career, anything like that, go to mspcs.sh/office hour. The link is also in chat, and post your questions there. The Q&A board there doesn't require any login, and it allows me to field questions. It allows you to also upvote other people's questions. I can get them on screen easily, regardless of from where you're watching, if on Twitch, on YouTube, or on my own live stream at live.monospacementor.com. And yeah, that's basically it. Use the link, post your questions, and I'll do my best to answer them. Hello, Papa Smiles. I hope you have a smile on your face. I hope you can already smell the weekend. And yeah, hello to everyone else. Feel free to post your questions to mspc.sh/office hour. And I'm looking forward to your questions. Indrek joining us. Hello, welcome to the stream. One of our regular community members. For all of them, for all of whom I'm very grateful. Speaking of community, if you are not familiar with Monospace Mentor, Monospace Mentor is a another venture of mine aside of my day job as a CTO at a small web hosting company. And as the Monospace mentor, I try to help DevOps people grow. And that includes also running a very friendly and inclusive community. So if you'd like to join us, join our forum, or maybe even become a paying member supporting me, then you'll also get to participate in our community events and have a lot of other perks as well, including at the gold level, free access to all of my in-person courses, and also what I'm building the concept for at the moment, our pub mocks, our public Proxmox setup, where you can spawn your own VMs and do your own experiments, especially of course during my courses. If that's something that interests you, you can join us at theserverroom.sh. Simply sign up either for a free account or for a paid account, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the server room. And Popper has already posted a question. So let's get that question on screen here. They ask, hi, it's Popper, gonna be 30 this year, and I've been around computers my whole life. I've wanted to learn how to code since I was a kid, but never took the leap. And I think now is that time. Where do I start if I want to get into C++ and dev work? Yeah, that's a good question. Regardless of the programming language, I think it depends on how you learn best. And that's where everyone is different. I am used to learning from books because that was the only way to learn back when I started. I started software development in 1984 and Linux administration in 1993. So I was used to learning from books. I probably went to the library at least once a week and saw what, just to see what other new books were there. And that would be one way to go about it. Of course, now with the internet, you have access to endless sources. You could try and find a course on YouTube, for example, an introductory course into, in your case, C++. Of course, there are also courses offered by people on course platforms or their own website, or maybe just published on GitHub. There are many ways to do these things, and a self-guided course might be an option for you. If you are someone who needs to be kept a little bit more accountable because you're easily distracted or simply have a lot on your plate, I would probably suggest joining an in-person cohort-based course. Those usually are a little bit more expensive, but the whole cohort-based approach minimizes the risk of you investing that money and not getting enough back. So that's another way you could do these things. Regardless of how you approach learning your language, C++, I would advise you to to find a project that interests you enough to keep you active developing on it. So maybe there's something that you wanted to develop all this time, or maybe there is something where you think that would really help me do specific things, and then tackle that problem, try to splice it up into many smaller problems, and then find out how C++ can help you solve these more atomic problems. That's the usual approach to solve any problem. And Papa Smile says, well, I will say I really want to develop a text adventure game. That is a brilliant project for that, because it doesn't require much in terms of interactivity. You can simply rely on console-based text output and input, and so it doesn't require more advanced things like a UI library or a graphics library or stuff like that. So you can really focus on how to build a text adventure game, how to build up the story logic, how to branch into different alternative storylines depending on what your player does, how to keep track of an inventory and all these things. Those are brilliant things you can basically solve in any programming language, and if that is up your alley, that's definitely perfect for an intro. And I mean, let's be honest, when we every time we start out with a new language, our code isn't great, but with that project you can simply get going, see some results on your screen, maybe even get feedback from other people, and over time you can then go and refactor your code and improve it with stuff that you've learned in the meanwhile and in the meantime. And so yeah, that would exactly be how I would approach these things. As always, I don't want to monologue, even though I'm the monologue. No, I'm the monospace mentor. I don't want to monologue for too long time, so I'll leave that question as it is. But if you have any follow-up questions, please feel free to post them to the board as well. I just don't want to occupy too much time with a single question, so other people can get theirs in as well. Speaking of, if you've just joined us, this is my office hour, so if you'd like to have me answer your question, post it to mspc.sh/office hour, and I'll do my best. Makes me so happy to see someone start getting into software development and already having a great startup project at hand. I still remember when I started out with different programming languages. I started with BASIC actually on my little home computer back in 1984, and it was exactly these things that I loved to develop. It's so nice to get some results back on the screen quite easily and see, look, it's working. There's another question on the board. Thank you for that. What is your favorite culture question to ask in interviews, so as opposed to technical questions? I think one of the main things a thriving and engineering culture needs is conflict. That might sound a little bit weird, but what I mean is not only does conflict happen by itself, that's bound to happen. Conflict is two people in the same country. But also, I think complacency is another problem that many teams suffer from, where people don't really care to work out a specific solution or to challenge each other in our assumptions and things like that. So being able to go into a conflict and resolve it in a way that helps the business progress, that's one of the main social skills I want from people I work with. So I will definitely have questions around how do you approach a conflict and help resolve it? That would be one avenue I could go down. Exegete says this sounds like the difference between a disagreement and a fight. Yeah, we don't want fights, because fights don't lead to constructive outcomes usually. But I want my teams to work out disagreements. So if someone does something, maybe it's just in the context of a code review or something, and you disagree with how they approach a specific problem, I want you to have the ability to broach that topic and work it out with your colleague in a way that in the end the best solution wins. It's not about the best team member winning, it's about the best solution winning. And starting conflict is definitely a skill, because how you start your conflict, that probably already very much influences how it'll end. The other thing is, of course, how do you go into an existing conflict? Maybe it's two of your colleagues who are in disagreement or in conflict, and they seem not to find some common ground. How can you help to resolve such a conflict? Oftentimes I ask people simply about their past practice. So tell me about a situation where two of your colleagues had a disagreement, struggled with coming up with a solution together. What did you do in that situation to help to resolve this issue and to find a solution that would benefit the business? Because in the end, it's about the business. The business is the entity that pays your salary, and so it's important to find a solution that benefits the business. And so that these kinds of questions would be questions I definitely have in every interview I do. Exegete said, fights are emotional, disagreements are cerebral. Yeah, that's a way to put it. Yeah, a disagreement turns into a fight when things get emotional. Pixel Buttercup joining us. Hi, Pixel Buttercup, another member of the server room and my community in general. I really appreciate Pixel Buttercup being part of it. I'm great. My week of work is coming to an end, sadly, but it was a really relaxed week. I was really able to recover. Yeah, I'm also looking forward to getting back into work on Monday and starting a new project there. I already have put quite some thought into that project, and it's time to put it into practice. And so I'm looking forward to getting back to work on Monday. But before that, there's a karate belt grading that I have in front of me on Sunday afternoon. I'll have my first belt grading in 22 years. My last belt grading was in 2003. And so I'm very much looking forward to getting a new belt, but I'm also a little bit nervous because, yeah, I haven't done this in a while. Thanks, Pixel Buttercup. That's really, really lovely. So yeah, this is my office hour. Office hour means you ask questions by submitting them at mspc.sh/office-hour, and I'll do my best to answer them. Questions about DevOps, system administration, programming, maybe even Ruby, which is my programming language of choice. IT career questions like the interview one we just had. Stuff like that. While you're coming up with questions, I'll have some tea. Let's see if we can't summon Praxeus by mentioning tea. Pixel Buttercup asked in chat, just out of curiosity, for Europe people, what VPS provider would you recommend? I would definitely recommend Hetzner, who is also branching out into the US. There's another European provider called OVH, but I don't have any personal experience with them, so my recommendation would definitely be Hetzner. I have been working with Hetzner for more than 15 years now, and I have only good things to say about them. I don't think anyone can rival their prices as well. The value you get for price is amazing. And we actually have a Ruby question on the board. What are your thoughts on the functional programming attempts in Ruby, for example, dry.rb gems? I find them very interesting. Sorry, I was just distracted by a phone call. No idea who that is, but I'll have to find out later. So yeah, functional programming is something I haven't explored deeply yet, but I'm very interested in all kinds of programming paradigms. And so these approaches like dry.rb, dry monad, and these things are really interesting. I haven't had any use for them yet, so at the moment, I only have curiosity about them, but not any experience. Maybe I should have them more readily available in my mind when I go about solving things, because I'm afraid that usually when I'm confronted with a programming problem, I use my usual and familiar approaches and algorithms. Maybe it's a good idea to keep reminding myself about the existence of dry and the dry gems, because otherwise I'll probably miss opportunities to apply them in practice. So yeah, thank you for that question. Actually, it put those specific gems back into the back of my mind, and hopefully I will get to use them soon enough. Exegete writes in chat, I'm applying the contract gem at the moment. It's kind of nice, but my stupid brain keeps pulling me to Beam languages. By Beam languages, you mean languages like Elixir? I'll have to look into the contract gem and what it actually does. I'm faintly familiar with contracts as a paradigm, but again, I haven't used them in practice yet. What keeps pulling you to the Beam languages? Curiosity or something more specific, like their great multiprocessing capabilities? Pixel Buttercup says they are thinking about migrating to another provider. However, the service was extraordinary at OVH. Well, nobody forces you to change. If you're happy with OVH, why change? As they say, never change a winning team. Just noticed we have an ad break in progress, so let me wait another 30 seconds for it to end. Oh, look at that. Pixel Buttercup is also into Beam languages. Always respected Elixir, and now Gleam too. I haven't looked into Gleam yet. I didn't know that there was a language called Gleam. It looks so interesting, but I can't manage to enjoy the syntax and stuff and the ways of working. Okay, interesting. Actually, it says I got an ad, so I missed the end of your question. Yeah, sorry, I wasn't aware that we were running an ad break. What brings me to the Beam languages is their parallelism paradigm, being able to have functions run on different threads, servers, or data centers. If it's as easy as they make it look, it feels game-changing. Yeah, if you want to do some kind of multi-processing, parallel programming, I myself would probably choose Elixir. That's also something that I found very interesting, that it's integrated into Ada, of all languages, Ada being a very old programming language. But Ada does have built multi-threading and multi-processing into the language with its task paradigm, which also looked pretty amazing, seeing that into an old and well-established language. Exercise asks, is Ada immutable? No, it's not. It is a traditional way of dealing with data. It has an interesting type system, and it also implements something called ranges, where you can say this variable can only have values in a specific range. And you can even make ranges wrap around automatically, which allows a few interesting algorithms. So yeah, there are quite a few interesting ideas they put into Ada. And of course, Ada is very well known for its robustness. That's why it's used in many not only scientific areas, but also in highly critical areas such as aviation, because there is a subset of Ada called Spark, where you can actually prove the correctness of your program, of your application. You can formally prove that your application does what it's supposed to do, and only that. And so that, of course, is a great boon if you, say, build the control software for a fighter airplane. Actually, it says immutability is one of the things which makes the beam possible, because you never have to worry about state changing out from under your function. Yeah, that's generally the great feature of functional languages, isn't it? That there is no state really anymore, at least no changeable state, and that, of course, adds a lot to the level of robustness that you can build. And Gleam has no if statement. It uses a broad case statement, and that's it. And the if statement is just a devolved case statement with one or at least or two possible states. Interesting. That's a very minimalistic approach to things. Again, this is my office hour. You can ask questions at mspc.sh/office hour. I'll pick your questions up there, and you can also upvote other people's questions if you like them. That makes it easier for me to pick between multiple ones. And once you've posted something there, I can get it on screen and will do my best to answer it in a helpful way. So post your DevOps questions, your admin questions, your software development questions, your career questions, all kinds of IT topics. Post them there, and let's see if I can help you out. Here we have another question. Do you track any metrics for yourself and your team for DevOps work, something like the DORA metrics? No, I don't. We are far too small to invest that kind of effort into collecting metrics. It's interesting to see what DORA does and how they approach things. And I'm closely following what Dr. Forsgren does in general. Her management book is something that I can highly recommend. And Dora and the later standard, whose name is escaping me at the moment, is interesting, but it's not really of great use for us as a team of just a handful of people. Is there something that interests you about Dora and collecting and tracking metrics for a team in general? Let me try something here. Pixelbotica Boss, what solution would you choose for traceability and monitoring? Monitoring at the moment is basically solved for me by Prometheus in combination with Grafana to display stuff in a very usable way. And in terms of traceability, in terms of gathering metrics right from an application, I think there's no way around the open telemetry standards, and so that would definitely be the approach I would take. And if I had to then go and collect lots of these traces and things like that, I would probably do the same thing that everyone on the internet seems to be doing, and that is getting a honeycomb account and let them deal with digesting all that data. Thank you, Pixelbotica. Hydration is important, especially if you keep talking all this time. Pixelbotica Boss, since you work with Ruby, I suppose you are familiar with Rails too. Yep. The single web application that I'm actually maintaining is our hosting dashboard that our customers use, and that is built with Rails. So yeah, I'm quite familiar with Rails. Geekzag joining us, asking the questions of all questions, pineapple on pizza or pizza on pineapple. I would say if I would have only one of these two choices, I would probably choose pineapple on pizza. I don't consider it an abomination, as many other people seem to be doing, but I don't see myself ordering any pineapple pizza in the near future. How are you doing, Geekzag? Doing great, that's great to hear. Doing great myself. Thank you for the follow. This is my office hour. For everyone who's just joined, my office hour means I sit here and wait for you to post questions to mspc.sh/office hour, and I'll pick your questions up and try and answer them. Questions about all kinds of topics in the dev/ops area. So software engineering, system administration, infrastructure automation, all these kinds of things. If there's anything that you'd like to ask now. Use the Q&A board at mspc.sh/office hour and post them there so I can pick them up easily. And since we are nearing the end of the hour, it's really important that you keep posting now. And I have an inkling who just asked this question: how would one be able to make a pineapple out of purely C code? It's an interesting question. Which raises another question. Can you see your pineapple and eat it too? Last orders, as they say over here in Ireland. Pixel Buttercup asks, any tips on learning Rails? I'll be blunt. The best way to learn Rails is to use it. Foolish Novel joining us at the end of the office hour as well. Hello, another regular member of my community and regular on this stream as well. I hope you're having a great Friday, Foolish Novel. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, if you want to learn Rails, build a web application. Find something that is useful to yourself and start building. The nice thing about Ruby and Rails is that it's very easy to get started, and there are a lot of tools for building tests and therefore also techniques to do refactoring of your code. Once you have tests in place, you can basically refactor as you want and delegate the quality assurance to your test. And so that is definitely something that I can highly recommend. Just start practicing. I'm not sure what your question was. Was it the pineapple question? What do you offer in terms of hosting? That is an interesting question, and people might think you are getting a commission, but you don't. Thanks for asking anyway. What we offer, my company offers managed hosting for Drupal and WordPress. We specialize in websites that need high availability and high performance. We are probably not ideal for tiny blogs and things like that, but if you want to have something more high quality for your website, because maybe you're making money off your website, then our hosting is definitely an option. And it's European based in European data centers, so it's easy to comply with GDPR and things like that. That's definitely an advantage. If you'd like to learn more, simply give me a shout, send me a private message, or join our Discord and ask me there. And I'll be happy to help you out. There's another question, and I guess we are actually nearing the end of the office hour, because those questions aren't as serious as they were in the beginning. How do I gain the nuclear launch codes? My experience tells me you should probably build an AI system that is able to replace almost all the personnel in the nuclear launch silos. Get your AI system installed, and it'll do the rest. And if you don't let any high school students near your installation, you should be good. And chat, feel free to help out those who didn't get the reference. Did anyone get the reference? Follow-up question, how do I keep high school students away from my code? The first rule would be don't offer dial-in access to your AI system. My two answers, of course, were references to the brilliant movie War Games from 1982, if I'm not mistaken, which was one of the movies that got me into computers. So, since we are wrapping things up now, you can just as well go and find War Games and start watching it. That would be something that I can highly recommend for the weekend. I'll go to my final karate class before my belt grading on Sunday, later today. Yeah, that's it for today. I'll be back next week with live coding streams, probably on Tuesday and Thursday, both at 2 p.m. Irish time. And on Friday, of course, we're going to have another office hour. And thanks, Pixel Buttercup. I appreciate it. Hope everything goes well. I'm not concerned about my abilities, but I've still not fully recovered from a sprained ankle that I got 3 weeks ago. And that might limit my abilities, especially when it comes to kicks and things. So we'll have to see. But I'm mildly optimistic that nothing will get in the way of me advancing to 4th queue. So, thanks for stopping by, thanks for all your questions. I hope I was able to help you, if only by recommending a good computer-based movie. And I hope to see you again next week. Have a great weekend, everyone. And until next time, take care.